Hey everyone! Well, we're here. We're back, and today we're doing another anti-MLM video, and for this video we will be talking about Q Sciences. I feel like Q Sciences has definitely been popping up a lot more lately than it has been, especially since the first time I talked about them, which was I think about a year ago, is the first time I mentioned them, and I had never heard of them prior to me stumbling across that video that I reacted to. And I remember I thought that video was for Arbonne or It Works, one of the two, and then finally somebody, they kept saying Q, and I was like, what is this Q? And so I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this is Q Sciences. This is a relatively new health and wellness MLM, because that's never been done before. So yeah, I just feel like a lot of people are leaving certain MLMs to join Q Sciences, which, by the way, Q Sciences still does not have their income disclosure statement available, so I think that that is extremely unfair to people who are being recruited into this MLM. I believe that it's only fair that individuals who are looking to start this as their own job should have a right to all of the information and how much money people may or may not make in this company. So the video we will be watching today is a power hour, which I believe a lot of MLMs do it. I think the first one that I've ever seen really do it is Beachbody. So it seems like Q Sciences is taking a cue from Beachbody and also doing a power hour, which, if you're unsure of what a power hour is, it's where they all get on a Zoom meeting and they do the hey hun messages. They send messages to people and say hey, can you check out this opportunity video? So it is a real look into the day-to-day world of working in an MLM and seeing the kind of messages that they send, because they will sometimes they give a template of what a good message is to send to somebody. So a lot of the time while they are sending these messages to random people or people that they may know, they will also ask questions to the host of the call, who is most of the time their upline, so we get to hear common everyday questions that people who are in the business have for their upline. So these calls are always interesting. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really, really like it, please subscribe. Both of those things really help out my channel. Make sure to check out my description below for all my fun links to my Poshmark, my Patreon, my channel members, my social medias, and my anti-MLM playlists are always linked below. And with all of that said, let's get started.
Okay, so you guys are all on tonight because we are doing what's called a power hour. And for those of you that are totally new, what a power hour is it's an hour where we can power in some work together, get some questions answered, have some courage and support, because sometimes it's scary to invite people because we just overcomplicate things. But really just the basics of what we do in Q, in this business. So if I haven't met you yet, my name has been with Q Sciences for 3 years now. And I was in your shoes 8 years ago when I started this business. Different company. I've been with Q, obviously 3. I just said 3. I already said that. But I've been in your shoes, and I feel like I'm in your shoes every day because I still get nervous. Actually, on the last launch call we just did, I reached out to 2 girls and invited the way I said to invite. And they're 2 girls that I was totally chicken to share with 3 years ago, but I don't care anymore what people think about me like I used to care. I'm over it. So I am always I get the feeling. I feel it as well. So we're just going to do it. But what I like to help people do is have little wins. And by little wins, let's work on reaching out to people tonight that you know that you can reach out to, because they're your friends. Even though you're afraid to, they're your friends, right? They're people that would pick you up on the side of the road if you had a flat tire. Or maybe you've already gone through that.
Different, yes, you can count on your friends. If you have good friends and you call them in the middle of the night and you say, hey, I'm stuck here, can you come and get me? And they're willing to go do that. That is a huge thing. That's massive, and that's amazing for them to do. But comparing that to them also joining or buying or looking into an MLM for you, 2 totally different things.
That list already. maybe you've been here, a couple weeks, couple months now, a couple years like Kristen, and you're adding to that list.
But I guess it's desperation either way. Like, you're stuck and you need your friend's help. But again, one is something that is okay to ask your friend, and the other is like, you don't have to expect your friend to join the MLM with you, or that they are even obligated to check it out just because they are your friend or your family member. It's just, these leaders will ingrain it in people that if they have friends and family that care about them, then they obviously will support them in this journey along with them or purchase from them. But that's not always the case. And like I say so many times, all the time, I feel like I just repeat myself so much. You should not be dependent on your friends and family in order for your business to be successful. Also, if they don't have the money to join or buy from you, that doesn't mean that they don't care about you as a friend or a family member. But again, these leaders will convince people that they don't care about you because they're not willing to put money into your business.
Right? It doesn't matter, right? You're going to pick who you want to reach out tonight. So if you are brand new, I want you to just understand what this system is and have success with it. So this is how we define success here with Q in this process. You're not successful because you got someone on a call. You were successful because you made the call to invite and you took that step, because that's all that you can control. All you can control is inviting people to take a look. After that happens, you can't control if they're going to say yes, they will or will not take a look. You can't handle or control if they do or don't like what they see, or if it's the right time for them or not. You will hear me say this, if you haven't already heard me say this time and time again. As weird as this might sound, especially if you're totally brand new and you've never done anything like this before, your job actually is not to try and get people to buy Q Sciences products from your website. Not weird? It's not. It's also not your job to try and get people to do this business with you and be on your team, which is really odd, right? Because you clearly are going to get paid when people shop off your website, and you're clearly going to rank up when people join your business with you. But the mindset is you're not trying to get anyone to do anything. You're trying to let the masses that want to take a look, that are even open in the first place, to take a look. They're going to decide if they want to shop or not. And they're going to decide if they want to do this business or not. And you're not bad or good because that happens. You're good because you made the exposure and you captured and scooped up the ones that are looking, the ones that can and will benefit from these products.
Oh my God. So she's saying that you have a gift to give people, and your job is to reach out to anyone and everyone and pull in the people who genuinely want this. I was like, what do you mean your job is to not sell products? Isn't that part of the job? What do you mean your job is to not recruit people? Isn't that the main part of the job? Sharing Q Sciences with anyone and everyone that has a pulse doesn't get you money. The whole point of working this like a business is to get money. It is not to just share this. And I get the hard thing is like, share with everyone because then the people that want will come along and will buy from you. But it's like, no, your job is to sell products and recruit people. That is your job. You can word it however you want and make it sound nicer than, I guess she's trying to make it sound as nice as she can. I don't know how nice that sounds. It's like, your job is really just, would you say exposure? Because everyone loves to be paid in exposure.
Or this business. And so it's totally different when you have that mindset that, like, when I write down a list of people, this is network marketing. We're networking. There are so many people that are looking for what we have, be that products or a comp plan. There are so many people out there that this vehicle could help, and they don't even know that they're looking for it because they don't even know that something like this even exists.
I mean, I feel like at this point, majority of people have at least heard of MLMs, but they may not know that Q Sciences is an MLM. I mean, like I said, up until a year ago, I had never even heard of Q Sciences. But she's doing that MLM Hun thing where she is telling them to offer this opportunity to anyone and everyone because you never know who may need this opportunity, who is craving for change in a lifestyle and more money. And it's like, no, don't. Because when you go around offering it to anyone and everyone, you may hit someone at a vulnerable point in their life, which is usually what they want, because those are the people who are desperate and looking for change and more likely to say yes. But it's like, are those truly the people that you want? You want to take advantage of vulnerable people? Isn't it just better to look for another job that doesn't require you to message every single human being on the planet? I think so.
The name on your list might be one of those people, but they might just be a link to someone else. So it doesn't matter if they say yes or no. What matters is that the masses need to know what you're doing and what you have to offer so that the word gets out. Okay. So I want you guys to write in the chat.
Was she saying that somebody might say no? So like you might have a friend who says no, but you should go on to their like profile, let's say, and message all of their friends. So they are a link to somebody else who needs it. No.
Chat box. Yeah, you can't control if they show up either. And people will ghost you left and right. And guess what? They might not be ghosting you. They might have just forgot. You know how many times I forget to go pick up my dry cleaning and I'm not ghosting my clothes. I just forget. And I love it when the dry cleaner reminds me, hey, your clothes have been here for 6 months. Oh yeah, I was wondering where that dress went. And we can do the same thing when people forget about our text message. I love it when people say, I texted them and I can tell they read it, but they haven't followed up with me. Right? Reply right back. Hey, don't mean to bug you, Tanya, but really quick, did you see that message I sent up above with little finger emoji? Not the middle finger, the pointy finger. And oftentimes people come back and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I just have been so busy. And that's it. They've just been busy. But our brain beats us up. We're like, oh my God, I'm being weird. They're avoiding me. No, that's you lying to you. That's your problem. So
Jeez. Didn't have to be so aggressive about that. That's your problem. Okay. I mean, probably right. But it's also, you know, when you are in this business and you have to message people all the time and you're constantly getting ignored, or maybe people are coming back with like rude comments or just constantly saying no, maybe that should be a sign that this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. If you are so worried and so stressed about the answer on the other end, and it is usually the answer that you get a lot is the one that you're scared of, maybe this isn't the job opportunity for you. Maybe this isn't the amazing, wonderful thing that they all like to say it is. If it hurts you to be told no and you keep being turned down, maybe that's a sign that this business is not as great as you may have thought it was.
So here's what we're doing, you guys. We're going to start inviting for your list. And I like to just invite into the next thing. We have 2 things that are coming up tomorrow night. One is, now these are Pacific Standard Time. So if you need to do the translation, get that time change app on your phone. Pacific Standard Time. We're doing a Zoom tomorrow I'm doing the Zoom actually at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. And then Alyssa is doing one at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. So write those 2 down, because we're going to give, when we start this process of inviting, we're going to give options if they're not available. But really what I like to do when I try to invite is I start off by first just seeing if they're even available to what I want to invite them to before I even tell them what I'm wanting to invite them to, because there's no point in going into this whole spiel when they're not even going to be here tomorrow night at that time. So we're going to first get an idea if they're even free. But does anyone here feel like, I don't even know where to start? How do I even, outside I ask, you know, are you free tomorrow night at 6? Like, does anyone feel really nervous and like stuck on what do I say next? Like I remember when I started this industry 8 years ago and somebody asked me what I do. And I had to message my sponsor and be like, what do I tell them? Because I didn't even know what to tell them what I do. Because it's like, well, it's this health and wellness company. Well, I help people redirect their shop. Like there were so many ways that I could do it. So anyways, don't worry.
And that is an issue with just going full force into messaging people and being like, I don't know what to say. And that's usually where they get the templates. It's like, oh, well, just send this and maybe change a few words and make it sound like you. So just the copy and paste message. But it's like, if it truly was your own business, then you wouldn't be scared and you wouldn't have to go to somebody else and ask them, what is it that I do? I really do believe that if any of these people in this call or any person in an MLM had their own business, they would be so much more excited to talk about it and wouldn't feel so weird discussing it because they would know the ins and outs of everything. When you know so much more about a company that you created or even companies that you work for, like obviously if you're just starting out, yeah, you're going to be a little uncomfortable, but that is the difference. Working for another company and getting paid for orientation and learning on the job, getting paid for that, then none of these people are being paid. They are on this call for free on their own time just because they want to learn how to make more money.
Got your back. But we're going to start off first by messaging a few people and we're going to get to see if they're even free. And then when they're free, we're going to get into how we're going to ask them. So before you start doing those messages, I want to talk about how we're going to ask them, just in case one of you breaks my rules and you start replying back, even though I say not to, you'll at least do it in a way that won't screw you. Pardon my language. I cuss sometimes. I'm trying really hard not to cuss on these, so I don't want to offend anybody.
Well, okay, I appreciate that, because I think, you're in more of it's a loose professional setting, obviously, but it's still considered a work meeting, and you should be as professional as you can be. I mean, you don't want to just be going off in these things, because she's right, it could offend people. But I do hear this a lot in power hours. They're always like, don't answer. If someone responds, don't answer. And it's like, why would they not want to answer? And it's also just so bizarre to me that they have these rules of how to send messages and how to find these potential recruits and how to talk to them. And it's like, how is that authentic and not just creating Hun robots?
Plus my kids are in their bedroom, but I'm not going to lie. I don't really care if they hear me. So here's the deal with inviting. When you look at the name, I want you to, I don't know why I just felt like that was funny. I want you to say to yourself honestly why you're even have them on your list, why you're even wanting to reach out to them. And be really honest with that, you guys, because people love honesty and vulnerability. We resonate to it. Our hearts are, it just feels safe. And they can smell your slimy, fishy sales pitch over the phone. Nobody wants to be sold to. Nobody wants to be a salesperson. So let's not even try and get into that mode.
But that's what your job is. It's recruiting and sales. So no matter what, you're going to come off like a salesperson. Why is that I get it. Like, being sold to is annoying. But it's like, if you don't want to be a salesperson, then don't get involved with something like this. And I guess, it's not even their fault, because top Huns are like, well, we're not in sales. But you are.
So you really have to be honest with why you're reaching out to them. Some of you guys have that name on this list that you're going to reach out to tonight.
I mean, if they were truly honest, though, wouldn't they say, I need recruits underneath me in order to rank up and make money in my company? I don't think any of them are going to say that.
Simply because we have to have a list. You're told to have a list of 100 at all time. It's a breathing list. Did you know that? You need a list of 100 people, because it's a law of averages. A lot of no's are going to come off that list.
100 people? What? How? Okay, I say this every single time. This is not the first time we've heard this 100 people thing. I know we've heard it in a couple other MLMs. And I say, most people don't know 100 people. And isn't the whole point, like a main selling point for people to join MLMs is to create friendships and to have a community? But then when you get in, they're like, 100 people. It's so condescending to me. It's so rude. It's so confusing. And it's just like, I mean, if I joined an MLM and they said, I find 100 people, I'd be like, well, I'm screwed. And they're like, no, 100 people. I'd be like, why do you think I joined this company? I don't know 100 people.
100, and there'll be some yeses, right? But if you only had a list of 10 and only one person said yes and 9 said no, you're quickly going to be out of this game fast. And I can't help you make money with a list of 10 because I know that not everyone's going to want what we have, and that's okay. So it's a breathing list as soon as someone's added. And then,
wow, I can't help you make money if you only know 10 people. You have to know 100. How is that helping? How are you able to help them though? Like, obviously, yeah, the more people. So obviously, you are stating that you need to know quite a bit of people in order to make money, which is something that we are well aware of, but they're always like, you don't have to have any followers or know anyone. Lies.
They're taken off because they move to the bucket of a customer, or they become an ambassador, or they're a not now. We have to fill that space with new people that we're meeting over the course of the weeks and months ahead, right? So why are they written down? Are they just a name because you have to look? They're on my list because I have to have a list, and I just have to reach out because I got to reach out to people. Honesty, great. Or are they on your list because, gosh, this girl Kristen I met in a previous company. I don't know if she's still in network marketing, but I just thought of her because I know she's done stuff like this before. Great, write her down. Well, my friend Corinna is always talking about how she's in debt and can't pay off her college loans. So maybe this might be a way for her to do that. Who knows? I talked to Cynthia last week on the phone. She kept talking about their medical bills that they're trying to pay off and feeling super stressed. Say it. I'm calling my friend Cindy. Her son is struggling with the stay-at-home stuff and online school, and he's just all over the place. And I saw some testimonies of people's kids really feeling a sense of calm and ease and getting through their day during this yucky stay-at-home junk. Be honest, because that's what you need to share. So what we're going to do right now, a minimum of 5, you guys. 5 is not a lot. I'd love for you to reach out to 10, but I also want you to feel really comfortable and supported here, right?
I mean, you just told people that you can't help them if they only know 10 people. So how are they going to feel comfortable and supported? We're like, I can't help you. You need to know 100 people. I just can't believe that she said that. I'm like, still like, whoa, that's, I don't know if that was like the right thing to say. I don't know.
Success loves speed. But I also want you to just get into the consistent action of doing this. Do you know that if you just got 2 people to take a look at a QIQ a day, 5 days a week, you would be on a massive rocket ship of business. It's consistency, not quantity.
No, it's always going to be quantity over quality in every MLM. They don't care who they're getting. A list of 100 people, you're going to have all kinds of random people. And then she said you need to keep like filling that bucket. And I hate to like word it as that like people are just basically tossed into a bucket and you just go from there because, this really proves that people are not special and they were not thinking about you. They're thinking about everyone all the time. It's like, okay, if this person says yes, who's the next person I need to add onto my list? So their list is always going to be full. Those names in a notebook are always going to be there. And you're not this special person that you may have thought you were. These prove it. 100 people, you're just a name on a list, and they will make you seem like you're special and that they're giving you one-on-one attention, but they could be doing that to 50 other people. And at that point, are you really special? They're probably having to go back and remember the conversation that they were even having with you to like jog their memory because they're having it with like 10 other people, 50 other people, 100 other people. But to you, that's a special connection that isn't really special. And this is why this is so damaging to people and so sad, because I get the whole like thinking that you were special. I've told this before. In Beachbody, I had a girl make me feel special. But then when I started to get more into anti-MLM and seeing calls like this, I'm like, oh my God, I was just a name on a list. That's all I was to her. I wasn't special. I wasn't someone that she was actually thinking of. And when you see it from this perspective, it's really eye-opening and really gross.
That mean do 10 people all on Friday? No, it's not consistent. It will fluctuate too much. So whatever it is that you're doing, do it consistently, regularly, and it's going to happen over the course of time. It's not an event, it's a process. So who are you going to reach out to start sharing tomorrow night? Voice text them, because a regular text doesn't have good energy the same as someone hearing your voice, especially if these are your close people, right? These are your friends and family, I think. So I want you to
me, that just would more come off as like the customer service voice. Like, would you be willing to jump on a call with me tomorrow? I was thinking about you, and I would just think that you would be a perfect fit for my company. It is a health and wellness company. Don't ask what the name is.
message a couple people really quick and just keep it easy with your verbiage to find out if they're free. I like to say, hey, Emily, quick question for you. Are you by any chance free tomorrow night at 6 o'clock? Are you going to be around? That's it. All you need to know. Because if they're available, then we'll invite. If they're not, what about at 7? And by that time, they very well may be like, what's going on? No, I'm busy, but what's up? And then we can get into telling them why we've reached out and give them the choice and opportunity to hop on the next live one or watch a video. If I sent a video to you, would you take a look? But I want to first start with action plans to message people now if they're available. So go ahead and start doing those messages, and I'm going to check the chat thread. You're also welcome, while I give this some time for everyone to do these messages, chat in and ask questions. Rule number 1, do not reply when they reply back to you. Wait, and when we do the second step, I'm going to help you on how to reply next. Okay? I hope if you break.
I see. They want to have control over what they say because they don't want them to say the wrong thing.
If they're on the list and you have reached out to them, but they haven't responded, you have followed up with them, but they still haven't responded, do you keep them on the list or move them off? Good question. I would love to do one last ditch effort to just say, hey, I've sent a couple messages, just want to make sure you're okay. And I would love it if you would be totally honest. If you aren't interested in any of this, that's fine. I don't want to pester you by any means, but I would feel horrible if I didn't share this with you in case it was something that you would be interested in.
I think if they haven't responded, it means it's something they're not interested in.
So let me know either way. And then I'd put them I followed up with them, like keep a note section of who you followed up with, because you're going to want to come around later. Who knows, things can change. A year from now, a new product might come out that you think of for them for some other reason that we don't have. But we don't want to assume that they're ghosting, but we also don't. So I like to do the rule of 3. I do one, the next day I do another one, and then a couple of days later I do another one, and I give them the total out and let them know I could care less if you want this or not. I am giving you an option to look at something awesome. And if you're not looking at it, don't want to look at it, that's totally fine.
I don't care if you want to do it, but I'm going to message you 3 separate times saying like, hey, I would love if you check this out. Yes, they're the desperate one. They're the one who need you. You don't need them. That's why you're messaging them multiple times. Got it.
Fine. So you kind of call them out a little bit, but you're also showing them your confidence and making them feel completely comfortable to be honest. People don't feel comfortable saying no to people. Isn't that weird? They'd rather just kind of avoid. So they're caught in a deer in headlights just as much as we are making the call sometimes. So that's what's helped for me. Same question. I'm on 10 plus no's and 3 to 4 maybe. I'll watch a video. That's great. So Andrea, I would just say, so the 10 no's, were those no's for invitations or were those no's after taking a look? Can you unmute? Can we have a chat?
They were like, some of them are hard no's, some of them are just
Hard nose, like
just,
I
like,
know what
it's
you're
just
doing and I'm not
all,
even
like,
giving you the
hard
time of
nose.
day. Like I know what you're trying to give you the time of day type of no, like I'm not even looking at anything.
Yeah, some of those, a couple of people who were like, yeah, I think I'd be interested in this, but now's not the right time.
Okay, so now's not the right time is awesome. Great. Follow up with them in like another.
No, that is okay. Maybe they're telling the truth and now is not a good time, but that's usually the kind of response that somebody will give as a, I don't want to be rude, but I'm really not interested. This is my way of letting you down is, oh, right now is not a good time. But that's the thing is that we have to get into this mentality of telling them straight up, like, no, this is something I'm not interested in. I appreciate you thinking about me. Have a good day. I mean, that doesn't come off as rude, but it comes off as assertive because if you leave any little ounce of openness, they are told to, well, follow up in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months. And it's like, didn't I tell them no? But that's the thing is that, like, even if you get a hard no, you give them a hard no, they're told to follow back up with you later because it's like, oh, well, maybe just right now is not a good time for them. You don't know how they'll feel in the future. Maybe they lost their job, as if that's like a good thing, like a positive thing. But of course, in a Hun's world, people losing their job is a positive thing because then they can make money off of that now unemployed person. Ick.
Their month or two. Let them be, stay in communication on social media. The other ones that were like a hard no, peace out. You don't need them. I was a hard no 8 years ago, hard no. And she let me be, but I was watching her and she just were friends. So the friendship still stayed and I saw stuff on social media. So just let them be.
Well, I think part of the problem is most of my friends dabbled with me in my previous adventure.
Yep.
And so like now in process of changing, that's where I'm struggling.
They've got a window, and that was me. So I had done a company many moons earlier than that, 8 years ago when my kids were toddlers. And I just assumed it was going to be exactly the same. And it was so hard that I just wasn't even going to try. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I learned a very big lesson that I will never say no to something I don't know I'm exactly saying no to, because they're not, all these companies are not all the same, but they have to feel comfortable and safe in making that decision. So it took me watching her. I'll never forget when she earned the car at that last company. I was like, holy crap, because to get the car in our first company was like unheard of. Well, it was way easier to earn the car here. And I didn't understand that there. Here is like even better. Again, when she wanted to get me to move our previous and come here, I was like, I don't want to, but I have to look because I learned a bad lesson, right? A good lesson. So
if you were doing so well in the previous company, and if she was doing so well in the previous company, then she would have never even thought about leaving and joining this company. That's probably also something to think about, is that if you're so happy and so excited to be in this company and they say, this is the greatest thing I've ever been a part of and I love it so much, but then you leave and you join something else, yes, people are going to be skeptical because they're like, weren't you saying these exact same words about the company you were a part of previously?
They just have to be ready when they're ready. And it's when you start winning, when you share that things are different, when you start promoting and sharing other people winning, they either are going to come around or they won't. But point is, they're not open. So there's someone else out there looking and we got to find them. But the 3 to 4, maybe I'll watch videos. What's that been like? Really just trying to like if these are totally your friends, can you be like, hey, don't do me any favors. If you don't want to look, that's fine. But I'm trying to share with you something that could be good for you. But if it's not for you, just be straight with me.
And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm at that like frustration point. And
it sucks when your closest friends and family don't want to even just support you by taking a look. But that's just all on them. It is really all on them, but we take it so personally. Trust me. This is like a new breakthrough for me. I'm going to be really honest with you because I have great friends. Do you guys know a platinum with the company? There was like 5 people that I haven't wanted to share my journey because I cared what 5 people that won't even support me in my business, what they would think and judge on social media. How stupid is that? And then I get to conference and everyone's like, you helped me so much. You helped me so much. And I'm like, line in the sand. You can't support me. That's fine. That's on you. I'm going to love you where you're at, but I'm going to share because there's too many people out there that like it. So.
And she's wording it almost like because they didn't want to share a post. They didn't want to buy a product. They didn't want to join. Like, oh, fine, that's on you then. Like, just because they don't want to buy from you, join, share, doesn't mean they don't care about you still. Like, it's like they view it, and they do this a lot, is that if you're not with me, you're against me. That seems to be their mentality.
It sucks. It does hurt. But if anything, let's just be better friends to our friends and make sure that we support all of our people in everything that they do. You don't have a great relationship with the person. Do you still use that approach? You know what? So I love that you asked that. There's two schools of thought with this process. Depends on where you want to be. When I got started 8 years ago, and then I duplicated that again here, I knew that I could have success because I watched my friend have success. You're watching others' success. So is your belief so strong that you could reach out, Emily, and say,
No. Just because somebody else is successful, who you know, doesn't mean you will also be successful. Like, that's not how that works.
You know, hey, Kristen, I hope all's well. I'd love to catch up, but I've got to be honest with you. I'm messaging you with a specific question. Do you ever keep your income options open? Because I was on a mission to find the ones looking super fast. And if they weren't, they went into the other.
That makes a lot of sense. You were looking for the ones who are the most desperate for some kind of income. And you were giving them this opportunity that you can make X amount of money and it's super easy. So you were looking for vulnerable people who were in some sort of debt or financial struggle. Cool.
Category of a relationship, right? But at the same token, there's also something to be said for, and a lot of people have great success with building the relationship, but you have to build the relationship over time. You can't pick up the phone, shoot the you know what, and 20 minutes after the conversation be like, so, la, 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 and they're sitting there going, this girl just called me, spent 20 minutes trying to butter me up when really she's calling me for this.
Yeah, but what about playing the long game and you start what somebody thinks is a true friendship, and then a month later, they drop the opportunity on you. Maybe some people are like, okay, yeah, I'll check into it, and that's totally okay, but a lot of people are like, wow, you just became friends with me so that you could sell me your pyramid scheme. Thank you.
So be really honest. If you are just calling for that, call for it. And then keep the communication going. That's what I did. When I did those messages, the ones that said thanks, but no thanks, I'd be like, totally cool. So how's it been? What's been going on? And I built the relationship that way, put myself in front of them. And then they either broke their wall down or watched me do it or not. Right. So do what feels best for you, because what feels good is going to translate better than what you're trying to do. But also know you have to push yourself out of the box a little bit. You have to get a little bit uncomfortable. So it's okay that it feels uncomfortable, but if it's not your personality to chit chat and create relationships, then just get straight to the point, and then create the relationship later. If you normally only communicate with someone via text or message, do you still voice message them? I feel like they would think that is out of the norm. Do what's normal for you.
I find that so interesting, is that people, they hear what these top leaders say and they think because this person is successful or appears to be successful that I need to follow every single thing that they do. And they'll say like, no, do what works best for you, but also follow exactly what I'm saying. So it's like, hey, I don't normally voice memo them, but should I still do that? It's like they want to copy exactly what they're doing, because it's like, well, that person's successful, so if I copy exactly what they're doing, then obviously I'll be successful also, which is just not the case, because if it truly was that easy, then income disclosure statements would reflect that. And obviously Q Sciences doesn't have their income disclosure statements public, but I can only make an educated guess based off of so many other income disclosure statements from other MLMs, even similar health and wellness MLMs, that not a lot of people are making money over there.
When they say they're free, at some point, Emily, let them hear your excitement in your voice. So maybe after all that, you can voice in and just be like, hey, a little easier for me to talk than type this all out. It would mean the world to me since you're free to hop on a Zoom. I don't know if I told you or not, but I've started a side project that I am so excited about. And it may or may not be something that's for you, but as my friend, it would mean everything to have your support. Take a look at it and really just get the word out on what I'm doing. Would you do that for me? If they're free, they're free. If they can, they can. If they can't, then it's like, hey, I know we're busy. If I sent you a video, would you watch it? And we'll go that route. And it's just the process. My sister-in-law thought this was a scheme when I asked her. Isn't that funny? See, Kim, so Kim, would you mind sharing what you said? Just because we can learn one of two things here. Either what you said needed to be reevaluated and we could fix it, or we could just realize people are people, that's on them. She just wasn't open.
Yeah, that's what it is. See, blaming the individuals. Like, it was either your response to that question was probably wrong, but if you had a good response to it, then that person is just, it's their loss. It's their fault. It's always blaming the individuals. I don't know, if it sounds like a scheme, if it sounds too good to be true, if it's a part of the MLM world, yeah, people are going to have thoughts and feelings on it.
Still here? Did you leave? I don't see Kim in the pages. I think she left. Oh, man.
Well, I have that everybody is like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme.
Okay, this is what I love to say. Pyramid scheme, what do you mean by that? Let them reply back to what it is and go, no, it's not that. This is a totally legit business. And then on to the next.
Just, what? No, that's it. I think you're in a pyramid scheme. No. All right, you know what? Can't argue that. What? You're reaching out to me because you want me to also sign up underneath you so that you can rank up and make more money because the money flows up, and when you make sales and you get recruits, then I get more money. But nope, doesn't sound like a pyramid scheme to me.
These people have their guards up. The more confident we are, the more comfortable they will eventually feel or not. And take a look at it. A lot of people think this is a pyramid scheme because they just don't understand and know what it is. Because let's be real, pyramid schemes were totally illegal. They were money laundering. Please don't get in the habit of saying, what do you mean pyramid? You mean like corporate America where there's a CEO at top? And don't do that, because then you're just trying to defend the fact that yes, it's a pyramid, but pyramids are normal.
Oh my God. Oh my God, they're learning. They're learning, or at least she's seen that. She's seen, you know what, she's probably watched anti-MLM videos. I agree, is that when they say like, oh, well then you're in a pyramid scheme because you're in corporate America, it's like, you're agreeing that you are also in a pyramid scheme. You know, that you are in a pyramid scheme, not also, but yeah, wow, interesting. This is the first person that I have seen say, don't say that. And it's like, oh, people have their guards up. I don't know. For me personally, if I have to defend what I am doing as being something legit, not a scam or a scheme, I don't know. It might be.
Pyramid is linked to the fact that no one can get to the top, that I hold you down. And I'm going to be really honest with you. Some comp plans are like that. Some comp plans, I wouldn't want you to promote on my team, because if you did, I lose you and everyone underneath out of my volume. So I need to keep you down below me, or I need to get to work, right? So these can all be bad experiences that people have had. So that creates the process of.
So is she agreeing that other MLMs are pyramid schemes, just not the one that she's in?
Helping people and see that this isn't. But the more we can just be like, what do you mean? And just say, oh, no, not at all. This is literally a legit business.
So how would you explain the difference between when they say pyramid scheme, like I've done Cincy, I've done, all these other little odd
I would
things.
love to say, well,
okay, before the host speaks, I would, to the person who asked the question, if you are unsure how to respond to people and they're telling you that what you are in is a pyramid scheme and you don't know how to go about it, and you're like, well, exactly what do I do? And you're like conflicted, maybe this isn't the business for you. If you have to defend the job, the side hustle, the whatever that you are promoting and getting other people involved in, against the don't worry, it's not a scam. I don't know. Do you really want to waste your time, minutes, hours, days defending a company that doesn't care about you against being a scam? They spend so much time saying, this is why we're not a pyramid scheme. This is why we're legal. Oh, just ignore them because they're just negative. It's on them if they don't want to be a part of this. And it's like, when you have to spend so much time defending that specific question, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. You can do a lot of other things that actually get you money, actually fulfill you, and you don't have to waste time telling people, don't worry, it's not a scam. Or maybe it's you're trying to convince yourself that it's not a scam. Because a lot of people, I agree, they don't want to believe that they fell for a scam. That's totally reasonable. And maybe she's asking this question because it's getting into her, like, did I fall for a scam? So she's in this call to ask the host, like, hey, why exactly is this not a scam? What do I say? Maybe she's trying to hear confirmation as to why it isn't, because she has some doubts, which is good. Have doubts. Definitely have doubts.
What was it about it that didn't work for you or you didn't like? And then I would say, because I hear a lot of people say that sometimes, so I get it. What's going on? I like to now, again, asking a ton of questions. They had a bad experience somewhere. Nobody helped me. I had no coaching. Oh my gosh, I get that. I've had that before too. And here it's crazy. I was on a Zoom last night with like 15 people and the girl was sitting there literally teaching us how to invite. I've never had experience or help like that. Or I love the products, but I could never make money. Like the comp plan sucked. These comp plans are different. That's what I liked about this one. You know, this thing's just based off of volume and it's unlimited. Like there's no generations and stuff. It's crazy. You should take a look. It might be different. So just
saying that though, like saying there's no generations, you can make infinite amount of money on as many downlines as you want. Like, come on.
Ask more questions to find out what's created the bad taste and then confidently acknowledge it, quick reply as to what it is and take the pressure off. You should take a look, but you know, if you're not open to it right now, that's fine. I'm not going anywhere. So if you ever do want to take a look, reach out and let me know.
Interesting comment. The I'm not going anywhere. I'll always be a part of this. Interesting that you would word that like that and want the individual to word it like that. Like, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere, because it benefits her to have the other person who's talking about pyramid schemes in her downline.
Then you move on confidently to the next people. We can spend so much time trying to get people to understand and validate it for ourselves. We don't need that. There's plenty of people that sign up without even looking at a video. It's crazy. So we just need to get.
Yeah, I agree. That is crazy. You should definitely look into what you're signing up for besides just signing up for it.
Out there and find them rather than make these people do things they're probably not going to do.
The person who asked that question, she didn't smile. She didn't like shake her head like, oh, thank you. She didn't mouth thank you. She just kind of looks defeated, which is really sad. Oh, wow. She went off camera. Wow.
A lot. None of my friends and family buy product from me. Oh, well. Alrighty. I think I got through the questions. So has anyone gotten a reply back to any messages, or has anyone done the messaging? Because what I can just pop right into is, what do we need to do next? So we first talked about the fact that we need to get permission to share, right? And we need to invite. How are we inviting? We first are thinking, why am I reaching out to them in the first place? We're going to be super honest about that, right? First, we're going to ask if they're even free at that time in a way that would be normal for you to do that. Ideally, it's great for them to hear your words, but
I feel like she's just repeated herself throughout this entire process. I know that she's giving people time to send out and ask them if they're free, but it's like we haven't even gotten to the, okay, well, if they are free, do I just say like, hey, I'd love for you to check out this video. Are you free? Or well, I guess we already know they're free. I would love for you to check out this video and see what I do and see if it's something you'd also be interested in. It's just such an unnatural thing to ask people. It's like, I started a small business and I would like for you to buy from me, but what I would love even more is for you to become my competition, but I still make money off of you. Only in MLMs.
So you figured out why you're even writing to them in the first place, right? You've messaged to see if they're free. Now you're going to tell them why you're excited and why you thought of them.
You have to tell them why you're excited, and why you thought about them, which is the same message you send every single person who will respond to you, is that I was just thinking about you and I thought you would fit in so well. It's weird how in an MLM, everyone's a perfect fit.
Taking the pressure off. And when they agree to hop on, you're going to say, great, now listen, I'm going to want to follow up with you and hear what you liked best. So before we all get crazy scattered, can I call you right when it ends? Or does that not work for your schedule? And instead you're going to say, can I call you tomorrow morning on my drive to work? Can I call you tomorrow at my lunch break? Whatever the times are, it's nice to give 2 options for a follow-up, 2 times that obviously work for you that they can choose. So what would be better for you if I called you tomorrow morning on my drive to work or tomorrow evening on my drive home from work? You guys, those are awesome pockets to build your business. I built my business when I started years back in the carpool line at school, picking up and dropping off, not so much dropping off, but picking up. I would get there a half hour before, sit there, and I would do some messages. All you have to find is a chunk of time, maybe 20 minutes, half hour every day to do what we're doing right now. And you're effective with your time. So you're inviting, and as soon as they've agreed, you've set the follow-up right away.
Well, what if you do it every single day and nobody ever says yes? Is that going to be just, oh, well, that's their loss, find more people? That's the answer? I guess that is always the answer in an MLM, just find more people.
So that you don't have to get into this mind space of, oh, they're ghosting me. No, you have a date set. The other reason why it's important outside of being effective with your time is now you need to make sure someone's available to connect them with, right? Number 3 on the launch process, or the system, is connect. That means getting them in front of somebody else. So you're going to either put them in a chat text thread with your support, or maybe you're going to call them and have one of us available on a 3-way call to be able to pipe in and answer questions. Now, how is that going to work? You need to ask to be part of a support thread if you're not already in one, where you know that you can chime in and say, I'm following up with someone who watched a QIQ tomorrow at 4 p.m. Who can be available for a 3-way call? Or who can I put them in a 3-way chat with?
See, you're always on somebody else's time. How is this at all on your time? Like, I mean, I guess you could just not be a part of it. But obviously, if you know that one of your downlines has a potential downline, you're going to jump on that. So you have to free up any time that you may not have had. Maybe you were going to spend time with your family, but a lot of people will be like, oh, sorry, now I have work. Now I have to be on this call and be all peppy and happy and be like, oh my God, you are so lucky that blah, blah, blah reached out to you and they truly love you and care about you. And oh, the fakeness of it all.
Right? So who can do these calls for you? Anyone that feels confident to answer questions. Ideally, someone that's been here a little bit longer, right? But what's your line of people? Even sidelines. You guys should all be getting to know each other, because over the course of time, it's going to be really awesome if you have someone that is a pet groomer that you're talking to. It would be awesome for them to chat with Kristen Penfound, because she owns a brick and mortar pet shop and is building this around that business. It's nice to kind of mirror match, but really it's really about striking while the iron's hot. So who's been here a little bit longer for you? And get in a chat thread and use it for that. It's just follow-ups, see who's available. And then that's it, you guys. It's getting comfortable to just invite people in a way that feels normal.
I mean, none of this is anything new. I don't know how any of that is something that she wasn't able to do in another MLM, or something that somebody in another MLM hasn't heard before. Obviously, if they were in a previous MLM, they got out, they know the sales pitch. They know exactly what you're trying to do. And by them saying, hey, that sounds like a pyramid scheme, you should probably get out, they're looking out for you. So I am really interested in that one girl who asked, what do I say if it's a pyramid scheme? I really hope that she got out because she didn't get the answer that she wanted. Because the answer was like, well, ask them questions. Ask them why they think that. Ask them why they didn't like their MLM. Because I think she just signed up for Q Sciences, so she really doesn't know anything. At least for me, I know that would be such a deal breaker if the answer to it's not a pyramid scheme is nope. Just nah.
Knowing that you're not.
I can't get over that. That just can't argue that. Just, is this a pyramid scheme? No. And if they think it is, that's their loss. Yeah, it's their loss.
Trying to get this list to do anything. You're just letting people know about what you have. You guys have something really awesome that's only going to be awesome if it falls in front of the people that will appreciate it and run with it. I've been making this joke a lot lately. I don't know why, but I think it's pretty funny. Someone might tell you that you could make really good money as an exotic dancer in Vegas, but does that mean you want to go be a dancer in Vegas? Maybe you do, but oftentimes not, right?
You could definitely make way, way, way more money being an exotic dancer in Vegas than you can in an MLM, that's for sure.
So it doesn't matter what you think. It matters what you know and what you believe, how great this is, but they're either looking or they're not. So we can get really good at piquing interest and inviting and being effective with that. But again, like I told you, the win is just picking up the phone and inviting, because that's all that you can control.
Exactly. And that doesn't make you any money. How are you in control of your own money when the only thing that you are in control of is who you reach out to? You have no control over what they say. You have no control over how much they spend. You have no control over if they stay. So she is right. The only control that you have is talking to people, but that doesn't make you money.
All right, guys, I'd love for this just to be time for you to just ask me any last minute questions before we hop off. Feel free to unmute. And I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have.
If
Bridget?
I want to, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If I wanted to private message you to ask questions, is that okay?
Sure.
That's the pyramid scheme question lady. I'm really curious what she has to ask her.
My friends aren't. Okay, you're doing a scam. What do you want? Like, you don't talk like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't talk like that. That's why I like to say,
Well,
I thought of you because of this.
Yeah, because Katie is very to the T with certain things about like her way. And so it's hard to do that when you don't, you know what I mean? You can't really
And that's not who you are as a person. Yeah.
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 Because everybody I talk to like that is just like that. Okay, it's a pyramid scheme. What do you want?
Well, see what I said? They can
Yeah.
smell your uneasiness through the phone.
But she's just following exactly what someone who is successful, potentially, you never know, is telling her to do. So it's not her fault. But of course, they're going to blame her.
They can
Exactly.
smell it. So my tip for you guys all is the more you can be on power hours like this, QIQs constantly other people present, you're gonna incorporate who we are, what Q is, what we do, but be who you are in that process.
How is watching other people and learning how other people speak going to create a more authentic you? Nope, you're just creating a more authentic Hanbot. Nah, definitely not authentic.
You're not changing things around. There's just little things that resonate with you. If you would have, like, for example, she has great success with that and that works for her. And there's probably a lot of people that have great success with that too. But if you never hopped on this Zoom tonight, you might not have heard something that feels a little more comfortable for you that's going to help you succeed and shine.
I don't know if I learned anything. I don't think she said anything that I haven't heard before. I don't know.
So growing yourself personally, plugging into other people's things, and collaborating on ideas to make it who you are. You're a business person right now. You know, there's a reason why they have networking groups and things like that for different businesses, because everybody kind of learns from each other's process and what things that do and don't work for them. I'm glad you joined. I hope it helps.
That sounded so fake. I'm glad you joined. I hope it helps. I mean, hey, maybe that's her true, authentic self. I don't know.
All right. Well, any more questions? Or are you guys good? I don't want to take too much of your time.
So getting people connected, like a three-way conversation, I've not really had much success with that, because then people are like, well, I don't really want to be connected to somebody else. So how do you bridge that so that you can get yourself out of the way?
Yep. So you don't even want to ask permission. You just do it. So for example, if you agree that you were going to text back and forth after something, as soon as the, just like, okay, I'll chat with you later. You do everything by text, right? So you want everything to be text. Then you just follow up right after and just say, hey, Emily, super, excited to hear what you thought or get your feedback, whatever you want to say. And then just say, I've added my friend or Susie to the line so that she can answer your questions. Obviously, this is kind of new to me and I don't want to steer you wrong and want to learn while I'm doing it. So use the tool. And then if you know what someone's looking at or what their question is, I would say that. Be like, Bridget, this is my friend Susie. Susie watched.
I mean, I definitely don't agree with that, because you're basically giving out your friend's number to a stranger and they may not be okay with that. So it's like, you don't just go forward with it and say like, oh, hope you don't mind. Like, I would be extremely bothered by that. I'd be like, well, you're just giving out my phone number to people I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'll check it out, but I don't need you to like talk to me less than 24 hours later and be like, so what do you think? Do you want to join? Isn't it amazing? It's just, it's very overwhelming.
Presentation last night, and she actually had some questions about blah, 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 blah. Can you help us with that? When it comes to being on the actual phone, same exact thing. See, if we were effective with our time and we set the follow-up already, they're expecting the phone call, and I've already got Marielle on the other line, get ready for me to call, right? So I call you up, Corinna, and I go, hey, so what did you think? I mean, I'd love to know what you liked best. And they start saying things, and then the questions start, and you go, you know what? That's a great question. Hold on one sec. I'm actually going to pull my friend, and she's someone that's helping me do this business, on the line real quick so she can answer that, because I don't want to mess up. Hold on. And you just flip over and you just do it. You don't go, I'd like to get you on a three-way call with my friend, because that screams timeshare salesperson.
You're right. Just forcing them to go through it doesn't sound weird and isn't a problem. You're right.
Here comes the hook, line, and sinker. We're going to close them.
Why do you say these things as if, like, I understand that this comes off as weird and salesy and sketchy? Because it is. They don't hear themselves. They don't.
And if you've ever been on a three-way call with any of us, you know that that's not what we do. We just allow you to get yourself out of the way, because that's what you're supposed to do. And we just start to handle the conversation, ask questions, and put their mind at ease and see where they need to go next, if anywhere. So you just do it. All right, ladies. If you guys are done, then I'm going to go ahead and hop off so I can use the bathroom and stuff before my next call at 7. But thanks for joining me. It was good to finally meet your face, Mikiana. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Bye, Q Sciences lady. All right, my computer is about to die, so that's perfect timing to close that and charge it and let it do its thing. What I got from her is I definitely got more of, I don't want to say an aggressive tone, but a bit of an aggressive tone. And I know that that's just how some of them are, but it's like, she definitely comes off as the one that blames individuals. It's like, well, we're just offering this to them, and if they say no, that's their loss. Or if somebody comes at you with a question, then it's how you respond. And if you responded the perfect way, the way that we deem worthy, then it's just their loss. It's everybody else's loss because they have the answer. An MLM is not the answer, but they ingrain it in people's brains that they truly do have this like life-changing opportunity that they are granting to anyone and everyone. And it's like, if you're offering this opportunity to everyone, how is it an opportunity? I mean, I guess they're like, only the ones who truly get it are the ones who will agree and take the opportunity and run with it. And it's like, I don't know about that. And I just think it's, I do gotta give her credit though. She told them to not do the corporate shape thing. So that's a first that we've seen. So maybe they're starting to catch on, because they're always coming up with new ways of why it's not a pyramid scheme. They don't seem to be doing the whole like it's illegal thing as much as we used to hear. We definitely do hear the like, well, if you think this is a pyramid scheme, then you're in a pyramid scheme. And it's like, that's not a good rebuttal. But these are always so interesting, because this is truly like a fly on the wall look at what goes on in, obviously every single call is going to be different, but what goes on in these MLMs. And something that I also thought, she had said that she's putting this out publicly, and a lot of times I don't think that they want you to do that in MLMs because they want it to be like secret. Like, we have these meetings that you can only come to and learn all this knowledge if you're in the MLM. So basically you have to pay to get this knowledge that for me, I didn't learn anything. I don't think she really gave anything that was super unique, different, interesting, special, besides ask people if they're busy, and if they're not, tell them what a great friend they are if they accept this, which is kind of manipulative a little bit, but I mean, it's an MLM, so of course. But I do think it's interesting that she puts this out for free, which also, and it also goes to show that you don't have to pay for this kind of information. You really shouldn't have to pay for this kind of information. You can find it for free online, whether it's good or not. Alright, you guys, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk anything and everything Q Sciences in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!